As always, Arend and Anneesa facing technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that? I don't know. There's a couple screws loose.
What are you saying?
Yeah, with us and with the equipment, maybe. Yeah. It seems like it's ready to fall over. I don't know.
I think it's just sensitive.
Yeah, it's like
You're just giving these people like
a little tighter. All right, now you got to get in there, so I got to move it over. Oh, maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
There we go.
All right, we're still here.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello,
Why
hello.
is it not moving?
Stop fiddling.
Spasiba, Wesley. Очень спасибо. All right, how's everybody doing today? It is another wonderful day. It's still above zero. It is not freezing. It's like, I think it was +5 or +6 today or something. Beautiful. Windy, a little windy, but that's kind of normal. It is, what are we, middle of November, end of November? Just about the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
We are. Started a new thing today, this new survey. Maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails. So it's going to take a while to go through, but it's going to be fun. And then we'll try to somehow categorize them all. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't seen the video, it's just all about seeing what kind of impact our channel has had on you guys, the viewers, whether that's made you think differently about Russia, maybe more positively than you would have before, or made you desire to move here. Anyway, but I did ask for emails, and now it's like this is going to be a big job sorting this all out. But it'll be interesting. All right, from Western Siberia with love. In Canada, did you use propane? Yes, we did. Different size tanks, different color, but same thing. Yes, propane. We have had one of our houses that we heated with propane and wood. Just the one house, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, propane for barbecues and propane for construction heaters, things like that. Yeah. What are you doing? She stole my mouse. Arend and family flag raising ceremony could be postponed until New Year's festivities, I guess. Why postpone it? We already raised it. Valentina, good evening, family. Thank you. Mallory, good evening. Edith, hello and good evening. I am looking forward for the live. Edith from the Netherlands. Whoop, whoop. Hold on. Ancient friend, thank you. Dasha, hello. Maria, hello, world. Week cool, Valerie. Oh, I'm just in time. Marat, hand pink wave. Must be an emoji, right? I don't see the emojis for some reason. Cool summer. Greetings from Nizhny Novgorod. Arend, do you have a higher education with Anneesa? Do children plan to enter higher education institutions in the future? I actually dropped out of school. Believe it or not, I got so sick and tired of going to school, it was a waste of time. I quit. I never finished my high school diploma, and I started working. Do I have a higher education? Yes, but it's self-taught. I didn't have to go to school for that. Read books. I love reading. I love knowledge. I thirst and hunger for knowledge all the time. And one thing we believe in is that you need to make your kids hungry and thirsty. They need to want to absorb knowledge. You can try to force a kid to learn something they're not interested in. It won't work. But if they're interested, then they won't be able to get enough of it. And then you just feed it as much as possible. And each child has their own direction. And that's the beauty of homeschooling, because you can actually focus on that and you can actually see the difference from one child to the next and what they specialize in, what they're interested in. And then go buy those books or find it on the internet. Always forget that movie. It's with Matt Damon. And in it, he says, basically he's talking to this other kid who's got this fancy university education. He says basically that you just spent $40,000 for an education that you could have got at the library for $5 in late fees. And I'm kind of paraphrasing there.
Will Hunting or
Goodwill Hunting, yeah, maybe. But it's so true, because all the information that you need that you could learn in university, you can easily find on the internet.
Yeah, or books.
Svetlana, good evening from Nizhny Novgorod. Radmila, how are you, Arend? I'm great. Hope your health is going well. It is improving. I'm still tired, as you can tell. Still not sleeping good, even though my coffee consumption is down to 3 cups now for 3 weeks, probably. 3 cups a day.
I feel you're not getting up as much though.
Maybe, but I still feel tired when I wake up.
Me too, but I just feel like you're not getting up. Like I feel like you were so restless before.
Yeah.
So
All in all, I think my health is better now that the gallbladder's out. But yeah, I still got some other things I want to work on, like my neck and my shoulder and stuff like that. Oh, we're down a little bit. Igor, hello. I've already asked you a question, but I haven't heard the answer. Children from South Africa learned Russian in 6 months from Soviet good cartoons. Can you allow children to watch cartoons? Yes, it's just we don't really have a time and a place for it right now. Once we get a little bit farther and we can get moved in here officially, then we will all start learning Russian faster. And, you know, it probably is going to be more possible. We're just a little less organized right now than we would like to be and that we normally would be. Pashka, Good Will Hunting is the name of the movie. Yes, it's a very good movie, actually. I haven't seen it in years, but
well, I'm sure parts of it aren't very good, but
oh, that could be, yeah. Welcome home. Please travel around. Visit Cheboksary, Kazan, and other cities. I have been to Kazan. Actually, that's where we bought our van. Ashot, big greetings from St. Pete. I hope that someday you will come to our city. I look forward to that. We had, so quite often, new immigrants come, people prospecting, I guess, people thinking about immigrating to the country come, and then they want to meet with us, and so we go out for dinner or for lunch or just meet somewhere. And so this last one that was here, he was an American, and he spent time in both St. Petersburg and in Moscow, and he was just telling us how beautiful it is over there, that it's absolutely a must-see. The St. Pete is really, really nice. So as much as we don't like cities, both Anneesa and I do appreciate history and architecture, just the beautiful buildings, which St. Petersburg has.
Yeah, I just don't want to live in a city.
No, I couldn't live in one, but I don't mind visiting. Yeah. New battling. Your journey and videos have given me a beautiful perspective of Russia. Not that I believed all the mainstream media nonsense. It looks like a beautiful country with beautiful people. Amen. It is. Yeah, my eyes have been opened as well. Ivan, hello from Goa. Will you change your plans according to Dr.
No,
Donald Trump elected?
Donald Trump.
It has nothing to do with us, really.
Yeah, I don't really.
Canada is still poorly led, and no, I don't see a difference. Many people think, I mean, Donald Trump being in is still a good thing. I think it'll slow down what's happening, but it won't change, in my opinion. The reason is that if you look at the votes, even though Donald Trump won and the Republican Party won the House, the Senate, the popular vote, the presidency, 50% of the American voters were happy with the way things were. And that's the scary part, because half the people in America were happy with garbage, with absolute poor leadership and just terrible decisions. So it's really only one election cycle away from going back to that again. So no, I long term, I don't think it's going to make enough of a difference. As many viewers have said, this gives them breathing room. It gives them a few more years to get their stuff together and get out of America. And that's kind of how I would look at it too. London is the capital of Great Britain. This is true. I wonder if there was more to that conversation. Hello from Ottawa. Hello, Paul. Alex, in the village of Privet from Stockholm Village. Sockennekos. Greetings from Arizona. Wonderful family. When do you expect to register your new house as your place of residence, and what does it depend on? It seems you are ready to move in. Yeah, I think we have everything here now that we could be registered. It's just paperwork, basically. A few things weren't filed quite right and needs to be worked on, and they are being worked on. It's just a matter of time. I don't know how long it'll take. Yeah, patience. Patience. Russia is a place of patience, and the Russian people have a lot of patience, which is admirable. So we just have to keep waiting. Tell me about the family of the Canadians who arrived. Well, we can do that, but you might want to be a bit more detailed on your question. Are you familiar with Ryan Gosling? I think he's an actor, isn't he? Ryan Gosling. The name sounds familiar.
I think he's a Canadian actor, maybe, but he's
maybe.
maybe.
I think I can picture him then.
No, you're thinking the other guy too.
Am I?
Anyway, no, we don't know him personally.
No. Hello, dear farmers. I just watched your old video of how you made goat cheese and Cora milked the goat. I wanted to ask who else is looking for children who knows how to milk.
Looking for children?
I wanted to. I think that's a bad translation.
so.
Who else is looking for children who know how to milk?
I don't know.
I don't know who's looking for children. Lady of the Manor, have you seen what we are going through in the UK? It's terrifying. Yeah, UK is facing some issues. The whole collective West is a mess right now. And again, that highlights why we have such good leadership here in Russia. They have seen those problems, immigration problems as well. A lot of the problems that have come to Europe are because of immigration policy, bad immigration policy. And they see that here, and they would like to stick with traditional values, and I think that would eliminate a lot of the problems. Aaron, Mr. Putin hasn't called you yet? No, no, he hasn't. I don't think he will. I think our president is a very busy man.
I think he's got more important things
to do. He's got better things to do than talk to me. Greetings from Donetsk. I am glad to welcome you in our big Russian family. I started watching you a couple weeks ago, and the smile never left me. You're so great. I wish you all the best. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is very kind. Dreamers, a young family from the U.S. that recently appeared on YouTube, has commented that your channel helped them finding a lawyer. Oh, well, I'm glad we could be a help. Laurel, how do you feel about your children facing potential conscription in the special military operation? It is what it is. There are ways for people who are not interested, I guess. There are other ways of serving. This country does allow you alternative service. I'm going to leave it up to my children to decide. Somebody has to defend the country. That's always been my policy, and it's my duty as a man to defend my family and also my country. But everybody needs to decide that on their own. So I would leave that up to my children to decide how they want to go about that. Arend and Anneesa, do you know about the brothers Boris and Gleb from Russian history? These are the times of civil strife, 10th century. It's just a very interesting story. Maybe you'll find it interesting.
No.
I want to say I maybe have read about it. When we were in Georgia, there was an amazing library of books in the house we were renting. And there was one there in particular. It was a lot of Russian history. I never finished the whole book. And I wish I would have took it with and kept it.
You found it?
Yes, but I can't figure out how to order it. It's available on Amazon and all that stuff, but I can't find it here. It was in English, but it covered from way back Kievan Rus all the way to today, basically. It was a really good read. I had only made it, through part of the Viking period, more or less, but very interesting book. A lot of information in it. So I guess I wouldn't have got to Boris and Gleb then in that book yet, but. Aaron, in Telegram today, there are photos of you with a hockey player. Have you been a guest? Will there be a video of this visit for us? Yes, we were invited to the hockey game. We went to.
Put it on Telegram?
I don't know.
I thought it was on Boosty.
I have no idea. I didn't put it on Telegram. Did they say Telegram? Yes, they did.
I think it was Boosty.
Well, you have to look now.
Yeah, Boosty.
Anyway, yeah, it was on Boosty. We were invited to a hockey game. We went to the watched Nizhny Novgorod Torpedo play against the Yaroslavl Lokomotiv last night. We did lose, unfortunately. The player was from the Yaroslavl Lokomotiv, as a fellow Canadian that reached out to us. Byron Froese happens to have the same last name as our new Canadians that live here, and he invited us out to the game. So we met with him after the game. Super nice guy. As most Canadians are. Most Canadians are super nice people.
Yeah, I think it was nice touching base with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Somebody can speak the language and.
Yeah, we didn't film our meeting with him. It was just a nice time just to connect him with us. We did film parts of the game. I don't know if we're going to use the footage or not.
I
It was
don't
a hockey game, but we really enjoyed it. We really were appreciative of him doing that for us.
We might put it on Boosty.
Yeah, maybe. Western Siberia is watching your channel. Patient's thoughts. My ex-husband is from Newcastle. He just moved to Spain to be near family, but will likely move somewhere else. He doesn't want to live in the UK anymore. So we did this thing where we're asking for the emails for you guys, and just kind of putting it together. But reading some of them are like just heartwarming. They're just amazing. The thoughts that you guys have of our family. Other people share stories of some of the things they're going through or are worried about, and really, if you put it all together, it's so heart-wrenching that the West has degenerated so badly that people can't just live a normal, traditional life. It's sad. It's very, very sad.
You know what I find is interesting is that when we originally took this plunge to come over here, a lot of people were like, I don't know, I think they were kind of in denial. Like a lot of people were like, I think they knew there was something wrong, but yet nobody wanted to admit it, right? Like, so everybody was kind of like, they didn't want to say too much, but then everybody knew that, our countries have been kind of, going down the drain. But then when we finally came here, it's like collectively through our comments, through our emails, through all this stuff, it's like, yeah, there is a problem. There's a huge problem. And more people are becoming aware. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the community around.
Most of us traditional people, though, are not represented by the media at all. So you do kind of feel like you're the only one.
Right.
And I feel like the rest of the country's all okay with this, and we're the only ones that feel this way.
And even like when we were talking to some of our friends and our family, and like we were kind of telling them what we were thinking, and that there was always like the little bit of reasoning that it's really not that bad. Oh, maybe it's really not that bad. Oh, maybe it's really not that bad. So then in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, well, maybe it isn't that bad. Maybe we're jumping the gun. Maybe we're overreacting. But then when we got here, and it's like you see all this outpour of people that are all saying the same thing, and we're like, yeah, see, it solidifies our decision to come here.
And it's not like that here.
No,
right?
It's not like that at all.
And that's I keep saying to people, stop looking like this, because if you look at last year and the year before, just like this, it's not so bad. It's a little bit different. But if you can look at the last 30 years, then it's a huge difference. So much has changed. England too, right? Like it's like they were just talking there in the UK, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Hi, is it possible financially nowadays in Canada to raise a family of 8 or 9 children? Was this one of the reasons for moving to Russia? Yes, I'd say it's possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. As a boss of mine once said, or his wife actually once said, it's just one more potato in the pot. And it really is. You don't need to have dance classes. You don't need to have hockey lessons. You don't need to have the brand new fancy clothes. There's lots of ways of living cheap. But it is becoming more and more difficult. And it also depends on where you live. Some places do not have the best jobs or the best paying jobs. And quite often, many areas are too expensive to live. Like your housing just costs too much. People that are stuck in the rent trap can never get out of it because they're spending, $2,000-$3,000 a month renting a house. It would cost them less to get a mortgage, but they can't save enough to get a down payment to buy a house. And so it's a big issue that way. Is it still possible? I think it is. You just have to work more hours.
Yeah, I think it's getting harder and harder.
Absolutely.
Right? Like it was really difficult. I remember after like the financial crisis there in 2008.
Yep, made a big difference.
It was really, really hard. And then slowly but surely it got a little bit easier. And I think we're heading into that again. I think it's really, really challenging.
Yes, but if you were to compare it to the challenges our grandparents faced in the Great Depression, people still have a lot of stuff.
Oh, for sure. But I think like even in like 2008, I didn't find that the groceries spiked as high as they are now. Like I feel like it's coming from every direction. Like they're hitting the food, they're hitting the farmers, they're hitting, every avenue. It's almost like, right? And I found that it didn't expect, like it was difficult in 2008, but it didn't affect as much of categories, if that makes any sense, than it is now. Right now, it's like every direction, even taxes now. You're getting taxed on your land tax, so you finally, people are like trying to pay their mortgages off as quick as they can, but then their property value goes up, so then they're getting taxed almost out of existence.
Yeah, property taxes are crazy.
Exactly. So.
But I do still think that it depends on lifestyle. You have to make cuts, right? And those are sometimes uncomfortable, but you have to make cuts. And you put your family first. So we never did anything excess. I've never owned a boat. I don't have a snowmobile or a four-wheeler, or we don't go on that many holidays. And we grew a lot of our own food. I think it's still possible, yes, but it's becoming harder and harder. And I think for the next generation, I wouldn't say it's impossible. I hate that word, but it's harder. Yeah. Are you believers that the man should be the head of the family and have the final say in things? And what does Anneesa think about it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's biblical. That's straight up from the Bible.
It doesn't mean we don't discuss it.
That's right.
Like, we talk about everything, we discuss everything, but at the end of the day, it's his decision over everyone. But he never ever holds that over us. It's not like he would ever make a decision that the family doesn't agree on.
The Bible's very clear. I have to stand before the throne of God. Every man does. Any one of you that is a man will have to stand in front of God and answer for his family. He's not, let's say we stand there side by side. I can't be silent and she goes and answers. Well, no, he's looking at me. He put me in charge of the family, and I have to answer for that. So it's a huge responsibility, and I take it very seriously. Now, somebody just said it in the comments as well, and it was a comment that was made at our wedding as well, that she is the neck. Yes, yeah. I am the head, but she is the neck, and the neck has a very important role because it steers the head and supports. It's a supportive role.
Yeah, I was going to say that I have to support you in things too. It doesn't mean it's always easy, right? And sometimes I can be in a uncomfortable spot, but on the same side, him being held accountable has a lot to do with me as well, right? I don't want to lead my family astray by my wrongdoings or leading my husband astray, right? So
we would say that we are equals, but I have to make the final say. It is my responsibility, and she's supported in it. I just actually had this conversation with Waylon this week. He was asking, there are some religious groups where the women have to walk X amount of steps behind the man. And he was asking me about
we do that, but just because my legs won't keep up.
That's just because I have long legs. You don't have to. But anyway, he's noticed it, and he was asking about it. And I said that he should be looking for a wife that's not behind him. Not a wife that's walking in front of him, not a wife that's walking behind him, but a wife that will walk beside him. Someone who will accompany him and share him in the burdens and in the loads and support him. And someone that he can support. And they need to be equals. But at the end of the day, it is his decision to make. Yeah. $10 super chat from Amanda. No question, just wanted to say hello. Prayers being lifted for all in the live and in the comments. Spiritual warfare is real. God bless.
Amen.
Thank you. She's not just praying for us, she's praying for all 623 people that are here. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Amanda. Every single one of us can use those prayers. January will be interesting to see if U.S. trade policy impacts Canadian economy and what happens with the special military operation has big potential for shift in the past few years' policies. Yeah, I don't see that we're going to, I don't think that here in Russia we're going to see a lot of change. I really don't. The main reason I would base that on is because this war has nothing to do, it has very little to do with Ukraine and everything to do with the West. They're being used. And if I'm allowed to say that, I'm assuming I am. And I think it's because in order for America to stay number one in the world, it had three threats. This is how I look at it. And I've said this for the last number of years. It's Europe, Russia, and China. And I really believe that they were hoping that Europe and Russia would destroy each other's economies, then America could focus on China's. It hasn't worked very well because Russia's economy is booming, but Europe is in terrible, terrible shape. I thought about doing a video on it, and I said, no, we're a farming channel, we're not political, but it is, the European economy is just decimated. If you check it out over the last 13 years, it was almost on par in many levels with the States, and now it is like half. So very terrible. Russia in the same time frame is just skyrocketing. Okay, we're fourth in the world now. according to purchasing power parity. But regardless of that, I don't see it's changing a lot because the problem's still there. They still need to stay number one, and the only way to do that is to knock the other economies down. So I think America will likely continue to do whatever it can to strategically stay on top, whether it's a good idea or not a good idea. I don't foresee any major changes happening in foreign policy. I could be wrong. I would be glad to be wrong. Do you guys know a statistic of immigration into Russia from Western countries? That is, no.
No, we don't know this.
Like how many people? I see. No, I don't know. I do know there's more and more of them. I know there's a lot of interest. Obviously, we get a lot of emails, so we do see that there's many people interested. But no, I have no idea. Hello from Silver Water on beautiful Manitoulin Island. Hello. We still miss our beloved island. So peaceful there. Stas, hello. Maybe I missed the answer, but do your kids already get new friends in Russia? They do have Russian friends, yes. How are things going for the new Canadian family? Good. They're getting settled in. They're doing some work on their apartment right now, the rental apartment, but doing a little bit of work there. They've been helping us out a lot here. And yeah, we did some driving. We went on a nice little tour the other day. 3 hours from here, I took them away to a different area. Bluntness. We toured around there in the spring looking at farmland. So yeah, I think they're really enjoying themselves so far. They are very private and have no intentions of doing this whole YouTube thing. Where are we? Anneesa, did you know that you are the wife of the most popular Dutch-born farmer on YouTube? Do you think about fame when you created this channel in Canada? The most popular Dutch-born farmer. I doubt it. I actually know one. The, what's his name? He's going to get a free plug here if I can remember his channel. He's in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but I don't think she's...
Sask Dutch Kid, I think is the name of his channel.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big channel. They have a big dairy farm there in Saskatchewan. I know some of my nephews like watching that, or at least they used to.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
And I would think he's much more popular because his channel's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you think about fame when you created this channel in Canada? What did you think then? No. So if you don't know the story, Constantine, the channel was started for my brother and her mother because we sent messengers, or sent videos, short videos a lot about what we were doing on the farm in Saskatchewan. We had moved away from our family.
Yeah,
Sask Dutch Kid, yeah. Yeah, they've got quite a few subscribers too. I'm not sure how big they are. 207. I guess they're not that far ahead of us, but
that's just the one.
Yeah. Anyway, we started the channel for that so we could share videos back and forth, and they suggested putting them on YouTube. And back then we were incredibly private and had no intentions of having any.
We didn't even barely put our kids on Facebook.
That's right. We didn't want. I've never wanted fame, and we never did this for fame either. And it just continued to grow. And then once we got into Russia here, it really started to grow, and now it's become almost like a full-time job. But we really enjoy it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like we don't enjoy it. We don't appreciate it. I think the biggest thing that we enjoy about it is the fact that we are making a difference in this world, right? Like, I feel like for the longest time, we always had that slogan in our family is, what is the point, right? Like, what are we doing in life? What is the point? And we've always had that feeling as we were going through life is, what is the point? Why are we working so hard for this? And what are we doing this for? What are we doing that? What is the ultimate point on this earth? And to honor and glorify God is the answer. And how do we do that? Right? And I always just felt like it was like a dead end life. We just could never live our lives to glorify God in the way that we were living it. So to have this opportunity to honor.
I think we still tried to glorify God.
Yeah, we did, but
we feel
just
like we
never
could do
felt.
more.
Yeah, there was always felt like we could always do more.
It's that dash, right? When you die and you have your, born in 1984 or died in 2034 or whatever. That dash between it, did it mean anything?
Yeah, and I always thought the talent, that you have so much talent, and I always thought that
you got a lot of talent too.
Oh, I don't feel like it's
You
as much
do.
as your talent, but I feel like you're just so talented and we could be using those talents to help other people. And I just feel like now we have that opportunity and I'm very grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really feel like we're famous or anything like
No, neither do I. No. That it is different having people recognize you and things like that. It is kind of.
Every time I see
Still
somebody
feels
that
odd.
says no, but I still feel humbled. It's like it's just somebody, I'm humbled that they recognize us and want to say hi to us. I'm very grateful for that. It's like a community. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Good fella, seeing you guys put up the flag in front of your house was very beautiful and heartwarming moment. Yeah, I choked up watching it come up the pole, and I look at it often out my window now. And I see it, and it's something I've wanted to put up there a long time. Are you done having children? Tiggy Wink, hey, how are you? He's a long-time contributor to this channel.
I don't know. We'll leave it up to God, I guess.
Yeah, we've always just left that up to God.
We touched on it last live too, that we'll leave it up to God, and if he thinks that I'm done, I've always said adoption was something I'm really interested in too. There's a lot of children out there that need a home, and we gladly would open our door to more children. 10 more for a hero.
Hey?
Somebody said 1 more child is needed for right. Can I be a hero if I don't birth it and I just adopt them?
Aaron, when you make a staircase to the second floor and a staircase from the basement to the first floor, it will probably be hard for children to climb the step ladder. Well, they have no need to climb the step ladder right now. There's nothing up there. We're still working. But no, the children don't have a hard time. I mean, any of them can climb a ladder. They've been doing it all their lives.
We don't want to.
But I think you're asking when will we? Soon. I think that there's actually a friend of ours who makes staircases. I mean, I can make it myself too, but this guy would like to help us. I think he was thinking of coming this week, actually, possibly. So at least get one of them done, maybe. Yes, in the Bible it says men are supposed to take responsibility for their wife and family, even to die for her if need be. Leading means serving. Amen. Yeah. And what better example of that than Christ, the King, the God of gods? He comes down, and what did he do? He didn't lead in that sense. He led by sacrificing himself, and that is how we are to serve as well. I watched American Expat with the priest that helped you. Very nice video, so you can feel friendship and respect between them. Is that a recent one? Did he just do a new one? Maybe.
A priest that helped us?
Well, Father Gleason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joseph Gleason. Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I've known him now for, longer than I've known Joe Rose. I don't know, a couple of years anyway. Very nice guy.
It's hard to believe, eh? We've only been, or almost
Well, we've
been
almost
here.
been here for a year, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Time flies, for sure. Oh, where'd that go? I don't know. Anneesa, raising children takes talent. Making a home takes talent. Being a great wife takes talent. Amen. She's got a lot more talent than that. She's very good. She does all the editing too. When we started, I was doing some editing. Now I was looking over her shoulder today when she was working on a project, and I'm like, I don't know.
Saskatchewan is when you got last edited.
Yeah.
That's like right at the beginning.
When we first started, yeah. I love you. Thank you for sharing with us your amazing life in Jesus with us all. Praise be to Jesus. From Elizabeth. Thank you. When do you plan to finishing the windows in your house? Well, the weather's still so nice, so I've been working outside. She would like me to get done, but
when do you plan on that, honey?
well, we're going to carry on working on it. It's just the weather's been good, so we're trying to get some stuff wrapped up on the outside of the house, and then one thing led to another, and now we started excavating for the shop. So I'd like to get those posts set.
Then always something.
Always something. When you give a mouse a cookie. How's that go? Anyway, we got a few projects. We also just dug a hole for root cellar, so we're gonna get started on that.
Priorities, they say.
Well, like I said, the ground's
food
not
is priority.
It'll save us a lot of money buying in bulk. Right?
In bulk, yeah.
Have you thought of teaching your kids how to properly fold the Russian flag? I have thought about it, but that's as far as that went. You all look so much happier. Hey, James Brown. Haven't seen you in a while either. You all look so much happier living in Russia. Thank you. I don't know. I think I look tired still.
I think you look tired too, but.
Would you adopt me? I will move to Russia. I'm a good worker. What are you stepping on?
I'm hooked in the cord.
Oh.
Like Crocs.
If things got a little wiggly for you, that's why. Ivan Ivanov. Dude, tell me please, everybody, I like it when you say that. Я не знаю. Не понимаю.
Adoption too.
Sergey, hello from Russia. Selfish. Is air nicer in Russia than in Canada? I don't know. Same air. Good fellow, homeschooling still have to have a program, direction education goes. Have you considered installing solar? Has no need. Told the electricity is very cheap. Hey, it's Jeremy. We decided we are coming soon.
Hello.
Good. It was an easy decision, I think, don't you think? How's the house heated? Right now we have a couple electric heaters, more than enough to keep it warm, but we will be installing a wood boiler when we get around to it. Ooh, skipped a whole bunch here. There are volunteer programs at archaeological sites in the south for free. Clement, the fourth bishop of Rome and the apostle of 40, died in there. They dig the ruins of ancient Roman and Greek places. That would be cool. I'd love to do that. I don't know about Hanoi, but in Seoul it got colder and windy. Greetings from Sochi. Svetlana, who is the man playing Garmoshka in your house?
Everybody knows about that.
What was his name? Igor? Maybe?
I'm not sure.
So my good friend, our good friend, Nikolai Telenov, I drove around with him a lot in the spring. We did a bunch of farm tours and things like that. He wanted to bring this man by. It's a friend of his, and he wanted to bring him by and play some traditional Russian music.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, so he
it was awesome.
Texted me beforehand, hey, will it work? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So they came by and they played a few tunes for us here. So
it just reminded me of polka.
Yeah, he actually filmed the whole thing too. Yeah. Nikolai did. You can find it on his page. That's how they know about
that. That's how she knows, because we haven't posted it yet.
That's okay. How they know. There you go. So yes, it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, we never posted it.
But I think his name was Igor.
I can't remember, but it was wonderful. I'm horrible with names. I had so much fun. I could have listened to it all afternoon.
Chickens, chickens, chickens. Need I say more? I like chickens too.
See.
From the beginning till the day you stepped foot on Russian soil, how long did it take? 39 years. Which beginning?
No idea.
Probably not the beginning when we were born. From when we started thinking about it? Well, really, it doesn't have to take long. If you have everything sold, just get on the plane and come. I really don't know. I mean, we had talked about it probably a couple of years before coming, but not necessarily seriously. We just started thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not very efficient. Exchange much public prices are solar. Solar is not very efficient. The prices are rather high in solar as well. Can you lower the flag on that pole because it stays on its sticker that it needs to be lowered or removed if wind's stronger than 15? I'm not going to lower the flag for the wind. I don't think there's any need for it. I know it says it on there, but then we're going to fly a half-mast flag. And in our country, I'm assuming it's the same here, but that's like a distress thing or something seriously wrong. We'll make the flagpole stronger if we need to. I was going to build my own, but this one here is a nice flagpole. I think it's going to work well. Good evening from Tambov. Marina, I wish you to move into your new home as soon as possible. Yes, that would be lovely. What do you guys think of Justin Trudeau? I don't know if we can censor that. We better keep moving. He is one of the worst things that has happened to Canada in the entire Canadian history. His father was another bad one. I would think...
I thought we were moving along.
We were moving along, but I just couldn't leave it.
They know
Pierre
that.
Trudeau was bad. Justin Trudeau is far worse. And he will soon be gone. Even his own party is getting tired of him now. Hello from Austria. Radmila, I've just checked. The video is 1 year old. 1-year-old when I first mentioned, no, that doesn't work. No. Now, I was in my tractor feeding cows one time. I made a video about Russia. That's got to be more than 1-year-old for sure. Stas, it is given for birth. No.
For the birth.
For give birth for 10 children. Very respectful and give some more help from the government. Must be another half of that comment too.
The honor.
Greetings from Saransk.
Well, I did not have 9 children to get any special awards.
No, we just have them because God blesses us. Do you think you will have your house registered soon so you can move from town? We hope so, yes. It is a process to go through. It is a brand new house on a brand new property. So it's a little bit more process to go through than if you just built a house in a village. So for anyone coming here, you won't necessarily face, well, we're all going to face our own sets of issues and problems. But if you're just going to go to the village and buy a lot and build a house, no problems. But because this is a new law allowing you to build houses on agricultural land, what we've done is perfectly normal and legal, but it has to just be figured out. And it just takes a little bit longer. Not a really big deal. It'll get sorted out. Canada and Russia climate is very similar, except that Russia has the steep kind of cold desert area, very continental to the east above Mongolia. Yeah, so again, I haven't been there, so I can't really comment, but this weather here is very similar to Canada. And if you go to the Western Canada is the prairies, which is just a bald, empty, vast space with no trees, and it gets extremely cold there. The temperatures drop very, very low, and that's not much different than here in Russia, as far as I understand. The farther east you go, you get kind of into those prairie-like atmosphere where it also gets very cold. Now, Siberia is supposedly much colder, but I haven't been there. It would be cool if you guys get.
I think there's an X part of it.
There must be something else to that. They must have hit enter by accident. I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Arend and Anneesa, you look great today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. To the front door, a huge greeting from the far east. Igor, I'll ask you a question again in case you haven't answered it. Children from South Africa learned Russian in 6 months. Oh, we answered that one. Greetings from Bulgaria. What you do is very inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Greetings.
Hey there, Anneesa and Arend and family. You are a role model for healthy and hardworking humans. Love to know you are in Russia and hope you will have here new main home and prosperity for each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What kind of livestock you getting? A little bit of everything. The first we'll be getting is cows. Cows, calves, whatever. Olia, hello from Ontario, Canada. Thank you. Greetings from Ohio. Breed Taz, greetings from the Netherlands. Greetings from Holland. Groeten uit Holland. Eh? Dreamers, old believers even construct self-made electricity generators, mills, small ones, enough for 1-2 families when they just settled wild lands without power lines.
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Baka, hello, asking for a third time. Russian schools program is much more advanced in STEM. How do your children adapt to it if they do, comparing to the Canadian program? No idea what that is. Snowflake, hello from Ontario, Canada. My sister has 18 kids and I'm the youngest of 20.
Wow, good for her.
Your sister has 18 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the top, because the highest that I knew is 15. That personally knew. I guess I don't personally know you. So it'd still be 15. Yeah, we know an Amish family with 15 kids. Greetings from Kiev. Vitaly.
I also know another family of 14, but no doubles. It's not like they had twins or triplets. And
Yeah, the Amish is all singles too, isn't it? Or has he got doubles in there? No.
I don't know who you're talking about.
John. John's got 15 kids.
Was it 15
John
or was
and
it
Linda.
14?
No, I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, they were all singles.
They're all
too.
singles too. And then you're talking about Kevin's.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got 14 kids too. And what's his name? Yop. Where was he? In Alberta.
Remember the other?
He has 15 kids too.
Yeah, remember the other family though? Can't remember his name. Toes.
Yes, yeah.
They had piles too, but they were
13 or
like
14.
triplets and.
There you go. So we know a lot of big families, I guess. Yeah. Did you guys get your Russian citizenship?
No.
If we did, they didn't tell us about it. No, we don't have Russians.
No.
That's a long
We
process.
still have asylum.
Yeah, we're on asylum right now, working on temporary residency. Well, we have filed it. We should. How long ago was it? Maybe a couple months. So probably in 2 months we'll have our temporary residency done, and then we need to pass language tests to go on to our permanent residency, and then after permanent residency we can apply for citizenship. Whoops. Arend, you lost a lot of weight before coming to Russia. You were fat. Russians are so blunt, eh? Just say it as it is.
I love it though, because I'm the same way.
I disagree.
You were fat.
Yeah, I was still fat when I got here, though.
That's what you said.
No, he says before coming to Russia, you were fat.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I didn't work for like a year, and I loved eating, so I didn't stop eating. I kept right on eating. I just stopped working. So that has a habit of putting on some weight. We drove around the States for a while, then we went to Georgia for a while.
I'm having a hard time with that right now because it's like there's nothing physically for me to do.
And then we did nothing in Russia for quite a while. So as soon as I started building the house, from the time I started building the house till now, I've lost about 35 pounds, I think, something like that. So having some gallbladder issues probably knocked a few pounds off too. Do you have a business plan for developing your agricultural business here in Russia, or maybe any plans?
We got piles of
We got lots of plans, yeah, more and more of them. My mom was one of 16 siblings, Irish Catholics. Oh, those Irish, yeah, they know how to have big families too. And they lived on a nursery outside of Guelph. Really? Ontario, and sold to Toronto Food Terminal. Interesting. How many years ago would that have been? Where were we in Walmart? No, it was North Bay, maybe. Remember I talked to that lady? She was one of 21 as well.
Maybe.
Something like that. But there's like 3 sets of triplets and a couple of sets of twins, and I remember her telling me in the checkout one time at Walmart. Hello, it's good that people of Kiev also watch this channel, with hope for peace soon, Moscow. Amen. Hey guys, looking good. God bless. Thank you. Greetings and ho from the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee.
I didn't make it to Tennessee. I always wanted to see Tennessee.
Yeah. It's beauty. From the pictures.
If our motorhome didn't break down, I think I made it.
Good fella. He lost weight after surgery. Arend, you look fit. Patricia, asylum from Canada sounds so beautiful. Well, come on over. Come on over. Arend, who mowed those wonderful sleds from the Wayland video? Wesley made one, and Wayland made the other. This would be Wesley's probably made 4 or 5 sleds by now. This one's a lot sturdier than the last model, but yeah, they like playing. Neither one of us do. We don't discourage our children from playing with tools. Just like there's a chunk of flooring that's not done here yet.
I was gonna say that.
The 2-year-old, or 3, no, he's 3. There's a box of screws there and an impact, and he just goes to town.
Yeah, I think he's like stripped 3
bits probably.
3 bits or something.
Yeah, Cora's like, I don't know, that drill's starting to smell. I said, just don't worry about it. Just let it smell funny. We'll get another drill. The kid's learning.
Yeah, he put like 10 screws all in by himself, start to finish, right down into this board. And I thought it was really cool that he did that all by himself, and he just sat there for hours and hours.
I think it's more than 10.
No, but at the beginning, when I noticed what he was doing,
okay.
he had put 10 in all by himself. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. 3 years old. Just
it's education again.
Learning how to hold that drill.
It's a whole lot better than this. This drives me nuts when I see kids just doing this.
It drives me nuts when I see my husband doing it.
Yeah, well, at least I'm answering comments from these wonderful people. I'm not playing video games.
Not always answering comments.
Not playing video games.
No, you don't do video games.
That's a waste of time. Eating, also kind of working. I guess so.
That was me.
Better quality food in Russia.
I think so.
There's good quality food here, yeah. Artyom Oymyakon is a city in the Republic of Yakutia, which is fighting for the title of the coldest place in Russia, according to the memoirs of local residents at the beginning of the 20th century.
Why would you want that? The title of
You might as well be known for something. And I think along with that goes also the title of the toughest people.
Maybe.
Because only tough people can survive in that kind of weather.
Do you think they do like ice cities and things like that in there too? Like like the ice villages that you can come and visit.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we should for tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you live in an area where it's nice and warm all year round, food grows all year round, and there's plenty, that's not tough.
No.
Anybody can live there. When there's like 8 months of winter and it's minus 78 or what is it, minus 71, that's a tough guy right there. Hello from West Virginia. West Virginia. Arden, the thermometer showed minus 71.2. However, the record was not recorded. Officially, the result was only 67.7 degrees below zero.
No.
That's cold.
They probably froze the
thermometer. Mercury couldn't move anymore.
That's why it wasn't recorded, because they broke it.
The coldest we ever saw was minus 57, and that was cold enough. What are the ages of your kids? Here in Russia, the oldest is 16. The youngest is 1.
Soon to be 2.
Good fellow, Wes is my hero. That kid has hands made of gold. Yep, he's a
handy man.
A very handy guy. Well trained, and he just loves learning. So. Easy flowing. I love it that Russian bluntness doesn't offend you.
Yeah.
Dutch people can be pretty blunt too, and just say it how it is sometimes. So.
I would rather that than somebody to be dishonest to me and tell me just nonsense.
It can be rude sometimes.
I know, but I don't think they mean it as rude. I just would rather them tell me how it is, right? Like
I have very thick skin,
right?
so I don't really care.
If somebody comes for a visit and then they tell you that they have to go, I would rather them just say they have to go as opposed to say, oh, I have to go because, and then they make up all this nonsense stuff. It's like, well, you have to go because your visit's over and there's nothing more to talk about. Like, we don't have to be, we don't have to tippy-toe around it.
Something happened with your camera. I think it's just YouTube in general in Russia is a little slow. The pixels are a little bad. If you watch with a VPN, it really does help out. This is a good one here. Which part of Russian history and culture do you sympathize with more, the USSR or the Russian Empire? Now, I can't actually answer that, but what I would say is that we are taught something completely different over there. We are obviously taught the USSR was the most terrible thing that ever happened to this country, and that everyone here hated it, and you guys were all begging and hoping to get out of it, and people were constantly trying to escape and flee. Now that I live here, I'm confused because a lot of people seem to have really liked the USSR, and I don't know about miss it, but like they have fond memories of growing up in the USSR, and we're not taught that. In the West, we're taught that you guys all hated it, and that in '91 when the wall fell down, that was the best thing that ever happened. So I'm really confused, and I can't then make a comment. I would have said that the USSR was probably terrible because that's what I'm taught, but now I'm not so sure. Also, most of the people that I meet here are extremely kind, caring individuals who will share everything that they have with each other. We don't have that in the West. It's every man for themselves.
Even the old Soviet cartoons.
They're all, everybody says you want to watch the good cartoons, watch the old ones. Yeah. So that makes an interesting thing. Now, I do like it's kind of that colonial time period, which would be more in the Russian Empire stages. I like that time period more so than the 1900s. So in that sense, I really do like that. But in that time period, you also had monarchies and you had serfdoms, and a lot of times the serfs were very poorly treated. This is all across Europe, not just Russia. Very poorly treated. They had no land rights. They had basically no rights, period. And they were essentially just slaves for a landlord, which is the whole reason America was born, where people finally threw off the yoke of monarchies and became free men. So I don't totally sympathize with that time period. I wouldn't want to live there because I, as a farmer and a carpenter, would have been on the bottom of the totem pole. I like the time period we live in now where we have those freedoms. They didn't have them then. So anyway, interesting. Something I want to learn a lot more about. There's lots to learn there, I think. Eris, the goddess, how is your health, Aaron? I was so busy these days, I missed some of your videos. I'm recovering very good. I just was not able to I'm not able to
Lift
work
anything.
and lift things, and that is the hardest part for me. I don't sit still well at all.
Especially when you tell somebody they can't. I find it even makes it worse.
Yes, yeah.
Especially this guy. If you
Like-
tell him he can't do something, it's almost like, well, that's a challenge.
Yeah, now it's going to get done. Yeah. It's just in my nature, and I just don't. I don't like sitting still. I don't really enjoy. I mean, from time to time, okay, whatever. But I like to stay busy with something. And if there's work being done and other people are doing it, and I'm not doing it, then I feel really lazy. Whether that's justified or not justified, it's not the point. Just mentally, I just don't like watching other people work. So that's my hardest part. But all in all, I feel pretty good. The top incision was bugging me a little bit the other day. But that's
What
kind of
were
better
you
now
doing
too.
around that time?
I was swinging a sledgehammer. But anyway,
Did you see how that? No, just slinging it.
only until my wife caught me out the window. Then I
was not
stopped.
happy.
Then I stopped. And since then, I haven't done any more work. I
And
don't
the
really want to go
pain's
back to the
massive.
hospital. Yeah, if I have to go back in for a hernia, that means I got to wander around the surgical room buck naked again. And I didn't enjoy it the first time. I don't really want to do it again. So we're going to try to stay out of the hospital, eh? USSR was the best. I grew up at that time. See? That's why. Some people really liked it. Yep, food was great in the USSR. Free homes, so much terrible. Radmila, USSR was horrible for Christians. You weren't allowed to go to church. Uh-huh. What do we got? Uh-huh. Alexander no, I was going to say the Great, but it's not. Alexander Titov, $20 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much, Alexander. All the best to you guys. Hello from Lana and Sasha. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ecology, we like the USSR. Artem, Alexander Titov, Spasibo. Whoops, I just did it again. Dolphins, USSR was not bad after 1970. Okay. See, and that's sorry, I just can't comment. I don't know. Like, again, we've been taught our whole lives it's all bad, but then I drive around and I still see the sickle and the hammer, and nobody's removed it. And I don't think history should be removed. It's still part of history, but it's still there, proudly on display. And then it puzzles me, if the USSR was so bad, why didn't they take that down? And why is there still a statue of Lenin? You know, why is a lot of things, I guess. So yeah, it's interesting stuff. I think we can learn from every period, and in the world we live in now, can definitely learn from a Soviet mindset of giving and sharing, I think. No, the USSR wasn't black or white. It had good and bad. But in comparison to the Russian Empire, there were significant improvements in the rights of the people. Okay, so the USSR had better rights, probably, again, like I talked about with the serfdoms. The people were basically just slaves. They had no rights at all. And that ain't right. In England, you go into English history on that whole time period. It was brutal. Right? Look at the Irish, how horribly they were treated, the potato famine times. You know, there's more Irish that were enslaved than there were Africans enslaved. A brutal time period that is mostly overlooked, actually. Are you familiar with Larry Hohn's Guide to Home Building? If so, how do you rate it? No, never heard of it.
Isn't that the guy from Home and Garden? He was a Canadian, bald-headed guy.
I don't know. The name doesn't ring a bell at all.
Okay.
You should make a video where you show how you are homeschooling your kids, which disciplines, sciences, topics you discussed. That's very interesting. Yeah, we've talked about doing that. It's a mixed match of books now. We were, or she was, not so much me, but very organized in Canada. And then, of course, we have to leave a lot of books behind. It just weighs so much. And so now it's more of a mixed match. Some of it's online, which we never did before. But yeah, at some point, that is the plan. Artyom, foreigners are not subject to conscription into the Russian army, and therefore military records are not kept for them. The presence of a residence permit for a foreigner does not affect his military. Oh, here it carries on. Military duty in our country in any way. Even if a foreign citizen permanently resides in the territory of the Russian Federation, he is not put on military registration. No, don't know that guy. That was deep, Aaron. Which part? Artem, he was watching CNN and BBC too much. Hello, guys. Will you decorate your home for Christmas? Actually, we stay away from that mostly. We don't do a Christmas tree either. Some lights probably or something, but
Sometimes I have a village out, like I have my little
yeah,
Christmas village.
we class it more as a winter village and winter decorations. Christmas belongs to Christ and not Christmas trees and lights. This is our opinions on it. I'm not judging you, but we try to keep them separate. In the West, it's become so commercialized. It's all about decorations, spending a pile of money, and absolutely nothing to do with Christ. And I think we need to keep the focus where it needs, or we think we need to keep the focus where it belongs. That doesn't mean we don't enjoy it. My mother-in-law has a wonderful Christmas tree every year. I always appreciate it, and I still look back to when we used to have Christmas trees. It was a nice experience as well, but we would like to keep it where it goes or where it belongs, and focus on that instead. Is there a minimum wage in Russia? I believe so, but I don't know what it is. Are you Baptists or Pentecostals or Catholics? No. None of them. Just conservative. We have no church affiliation at all. We've studied the Bible. I grew up in a church and threw that all away because none of it made any sense. It was Calvinistic background, followers of John Calvin. Just garbage, in my opinion. Not biblical, I guess is the way I would look at it. And so studying the Bible, my wife and I have come to our own understanding, and we would class ourselves as conservative Christians. And it's pretty hard to find a real Bible following conservative church in Canada. And so we just don't have a church. That doesn't mean we don't agree with many other people, though. There are many people in many different churches that we can somehow identify with somewhat. How is it there for buying products, lumber products price compared to Canada? Much cheaper. The only comparable prices, like even groceries, I would say meat is more money here in relation to other products. All in all, the prices here are much lower, probably about a quarter to a fifth of the prices in Canada for groceries, but meat would be more like almost on par, things like that. As far as lumber, much cheaper. It has gone up a long way though. Prices have come up even since we've moved here and are expected to likely continue going up. At the same time, I'm hearing wages are also coming up, so that's why. I know in Canada, a lot of people were on the lower end of the pay scale. We're hoping for minimum wage to go up, thinking everything will get better. It doesn't, because minimum wage drives the prices of absolutely everything that you buy, from the burger at McDonald's to the diapers off the truck at Walmart. Everything will go up in price when minimum wage goes up. The only one that benefits is actually the government, because they charge more income tax. Because when the minimum wage goes up, every other wage bracket also has to go up, and the government gets much more income tax. For you and me, normal folks, it makes no difference.
Would you consider raising the Canadian flag too? Or are you thinking of it?
No, I'm not thinking of it. No, and that's not necessarily an offense to Canada. I love Canada. Canada raised me. I mean, that's where I grew up my entire life, and you have been there your whole entire life. So, but we are in Russia. When I was in Canada, it was very common for us. My father still has a Dutch flag and a Canadian flag in front of his house. I look at it differently now. I moved here. I left that behind. We came here to start a new life. We didn't come here to be Canadians in Russia. We seriously moved here to be Russians.
It's interesting you said that, though, is the Russian people we are still Canadians in Russia for them. And I appreciate that they have still welcomed us and loved us.
Regardless
of our roots, right? They still put us as their Canadians, which I think is so heartwarming as well. Even though we were coming here to put roots in and we were ready to just give up that altogether, they still have welcomed us with open arms with that title. And I really, really appreciate that.
I do know a lot of immigrants come here and they have a foot on either side of the fence. And again, if that's you, I'm not saying that that's necessarily wrong, but for us,
and some people need that. There's reasons for that, right?
For us, we cut our ties, and this is our home.
We might go back and visit. It's not like we never go back and visit if we have the opportunity to, but as of right now, I don't think we would ever.
No.
move back or anything like that.
So yes, just a Russian flag. In my experience, don't know where it went. In my experience, to a big degree, people in any area are a reflection of the climate. The harsher the Doug. Nothing else to that comment? Not sure. Welcome, Nizhny Novgorod residents. Love you. Why raise a Canadian flag on Russian soil? That's right. The Bible says to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, as well as women to cover their heads during prayer or worship to God. Amen. Greetings from a Cuban in Uruguay. Olga, the translation will be recorded on the air. There's no way on the air. Someone, you are great. You are holding on, working, raising children. I pray for you. Thank you very much. I don't know where you went. Somewhere over here. I believe all will be okay. Drift, nothing to be ashamed of to be born in Canada. It is a great land. Corruption is the problem. Yep, great land full of great people with terrible leadership. Very sad what happened to Canada.
I can show that.
Show what? Oh, okay. Artur, do they read my questions? I don't know. Depends what the question was. Russia has over 160 nationalities. Isn't that crazy? That's nuts. It's a lot of different people. You mentioned Soviet cartoons. Have you seen any of those cartoons your subscribers sent your kids? I have not watched a cartoon in a long time, but we have at some point watched, I couldn't tell you which ones, but we have watched cartoons. Since we came to Russia, maybe a few.
Honestly, when
We watched some in Georgia. Yeah, we don't really have much time for that. Yeah. What are Russians' general opinions of your former country?
They think Canadians
Generally
are great.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't find Russian people criticize.
No.
Like they got better things to do with their time, right? Like I don't find they'll be like, oh yeah, I can't believe like the odd time they'll ask, like, is it true that like your country has 72 genders? I think that's our biggest question, and we'll be like, yeah, they're kind of lost, and then they'll like, okay, well we thought that was just like, you know, something made up, right? We're like, yeah, well that's what they're being taught now, and so it'll be just little comments like that, but they never judge anybody for it, and they just ask us usually like, why are you here? And we're like, oh, we're living here now, like to stay, like you're staying here, like why? But they've never judged.
No,
I've never felt that way.
Tom and Jerry is still my favorite. Yeah. God bless Mother Russia from American Orthodoxy. What is your family's success in studying the Russian language? Various degrees. Children are picking up pretty fast. Yeah.
Choo-choo Ruski.
Мой русский это очень плохо. I'm learning a little bit, but it just takes time, and that was our focus this winter. Now the pressure is off. Now we had a year. Now we have 3 years. But I would like to get permanent residency as fast as possible, and then citizenship as fast as possible. So obviously language has to be done. We now have a 3-year grace period on temporary residency for the language, as do any people coming, any immigrants coming from certain Western countries will have that same grace period. So there's no pressing reason that I have to be fluent next year. But I would like to, not fluent, but I would like to learn a lot more Russian by then, and it continue to grow. Yeah.
You're doing really, really well.
The best thing you can do, if you're thinking of coming here, the best thing you do is just initiate dialogue. Just try your best. Grow some thick skin. Don't worry about people laughing or snickering, because they'll do that anyway. A lot of times when Russians are laughing or snickering, it's just because they feel awkward speaking English. They're not necessarily laughing at you, although it feels like it sometimes. So if you're Russian, remember that when you're laughing and snickering and we haven't got a clue what you're talking about, it sometimes feels like you're laughing at us. But grow some thick skin. Don't worry about it, and just keep trying. You say it wrong. Some people correct you. Some people are like hypersensitive about pronunciation. I say don't worry about pronunciation. Just try your best. Just spit something out and just keep learning. And make slowly progress. In Russia, we haven't changed the time between summer and winter for 10 years. One of the reasons was that cows suffer from the time change and milk yields decrease. What do you think about this? I think that's nonsense. In Canada, every province changes the time. Cows don't suffer. I don't believe that. But I just think it's silly to change the time. I mean, if it's too dark to get up and work at 6, then just get up at 7. Why don't you just tell everybody to show up at 7? It's easy. And then when summertime rolls around and it's already lighted at 5, then just tell everybody to start work at 6. I just think the whole time change thing is silly. There's no reason for it. How are you feeling after the surgery? Are you feeling better? Yep, still got some things that need to get fixed out, but other things are feeling good. This one? This one. Cora's Russian is the best. I would say she is the most talented in the family. Yes. She's also had the most studies, but she just has a very good brain for studying.
Sponge.
Dimitri, greetings from Moscow. Bastello, which part of the Russias y'all from? Which part of the Russias? Bad translation, maybe? We are in Nizhny Novgorod. Russian language is so unique as well. Well, that's the thing. If you move to a country with a Latin alphabet, it's the same thing, right? But here you move into a country with a Cyrillic alphabet. So it's not only a new language, it's an entirely different alphabet altogether. And some of the sounds, it's like, how can you put those two together, you know? You pick them up. I forget what that one looks like now, but it kind of sounds like when you're hitting a cymbal with a stick, you know? Tss, tss. And it's just, we would have that one. What's the other one I ran into the other day? Can't think of it now. Anyway, but to try to figure out how to place your tongue to make that, it's just, it's different. Greetings, Arend and Anneesa. Do you think it's important for your kids and overall for kids of those families who relocated to Russia to get socialized with Russian kids? Yes and no. We are pretty conservative about our kids socializing with anybody's kids because we have spent a lot of time educating them in a what we feel is a traditional manner. When I went to school, I actually went to a Christian school. I learned all sorts of terrible things from kids in school, not from the school. I had a really good education at school. I had good teachers, excellent curriculum, learned a lot, good education. But the kids at school were from families who were not raising their children properly, and they taught me all sorts of garbage too. And so that is, and my same thing goes for Anneesa. That is our concern with our children. We would like them to be sheltered from certain things and just to be allowed to be kids, especially sexuality, things like that. There's no need for that.
Keep them pure.
So I send them to school. I can get a really good education, but what are those kids teaching? And the ones running around with these phones in their faces, I don't know what they're looking at. My kids don't need to look at that. I don't need to look at that. And that's where the big issues come. And that is one main reason for homeschooling. One of the main reasons we also chose Russia is because we are allowed to homeschool. If that were to ever change, that would become a big problem for us. Until other parents get serious, like if there was a school to be started in the area where the children, all the parents signed up and would agree to not allow their children to watch TV and not allow their children to have phones, then we might consider sending our kids there. But until that time, we'll continue to homeschool. Do I think it's important for them to hang out with other Russian kids? In order to learn the language, yes. And then they do. They did this summer as well. There's kids in the village here. But we are very selective on which kids, I guess, as much as we can be.
Our kids are more likely, though, to go and have tea with the babushkas in
Yes,
the village
they did
than
that.
they are
They did that lots.
with children. I find a lot of children their ages, they all say the same thing, that they're so immature.
Yeah.
Right? So like our 16-year-old, people that are 16 to 18 or 20 years old, she's always said the same thing. She just seems so immature.
Bunch of children.
Yeah, like a bunch of so immature. Yeah, and it's not like we want them to say those things, but I just feel like that's what they always feel like. They feel like they're just so young and they don't have anything common with people their own age.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So long-winded answer, sorry.
We should probably call it a night. Your eyes are getting redder.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm tired. Sonia Vaz, there's a video on her channel about how to become a citizen. I'm not sure who that is. Hello from Alberta. Will you
think
be
they're
living in the
talking
new
about
house
Sabrina.
soon? Ah, maybe. We hope to be, but we don't know when yet. Did you have any second or third choice countries for your move? No, we made up our mind. That was it. We're going. For a while, we were not allowed out of Canada at all. So we could move within Canada. We weren't allowed out. And I would say if that is a problem again for anyone, then Western Canada is by far your best choice. And I would then say Northern Alberta would be your best choice. It has got the more resources, so you can feed yourself. It's got some cheaper land, and it's got a whole ton of rock solid conservative people. Within Canada, that would be my thoughts. That if you could get out of Canada and get to the States, then there's a lot of good conservative choices there as well. The problems are still there because the governments are still wrong. But outside of North America, our number one choice was Russia. That's where we were lucky enough to end up, blessed enough to end up, and we didn't have any other picks. Hi, are there any product services you were used to but cannot find in Russia? Yeah, from time to time there's something that we wish we could find. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. Tools is the main
I
thing.
think the shock of that cut is getting
It's over,
less and
yeah.
less. We're starting to find more and more things.
See, there's been a number of times where we say we can't find something, but then it is available. One of you viewers says, "Oh, you can find it here, or you could find it there," and then you find it. So, like good tough duck overalls, I can't find any good quality like that. I bought some overalls the other day, but I already blew a seam in them. They're just very cheap quality. The price was phenomenally cheap too, compared to tough duck. A tough duck, I can probably buy 10 or 15 of these ones.
Your tongue's getting tired.
Yeah, I need a drink. My mouth's dry. Oh, thank you. You got some water? Oh, that's milk. Malakoff. I'm not much of a milk drinker, so.
We should probably go.
Yeah. Thought there was a couple down here. As Dutch-born farmer, you could introduce Sauvel spread to Russian market, which was way healthier than regular cream cheese. I don't even know what that is.
I think we watched the documentary on it, wasn't it?
Not true.
That it was a guy. I think we watched it.
I've heard but could not confirm that Mexican salsa is not in Russia. One thing, I'm not saying it's healthy for you, but we used to buy peanut butter in big jugs in the West. And
They
so
never used to have peanut butter here.
no, we can find it in these teeny little jugs. Is there one here?
No.
The kids were eating earlier for supper.
No, but one of the things we researched before we came, because Wesley was pretty concerned about this, is that there was going to be no peanut butter here. So then when we found it, he was pretty excited about it.
Yeah. But we're used to buying big. We've even bought it in pails before.
I know, but that was not very good.
Bulk food in general, I would say, is not a big thing. I know people say go to the metro and stuff, but it's still small. Like we're used to buying potatoes in a 50-pound bag. We buy flour in a 50-pound bag, sugar in a 50-pound bag. If you don't know what pounds are, I guess 50 pounds is about 22 kilos. Vinegar always in 4-liter jugs, diapers in huge boxes, like 150 to 180 diapers in a box. Everything bulk. And that's not available in every area, but every area where there's large conservative families has a grocery store that carries large quantity and large bulk items. That's not much of a thing. So a lot of our shopping consists of small stuff. But I mean, the products, you can still find them. They're just in smaller quantities. That's all. This is an interesting one about Northern Alberta. Groceries and housing. So Mendelson, groceries and housing are expensive in Northern Alberta. We had a huge influx of people this year driving up the cost of housing again. Well, that's probably why you had them, because people coming from other parts of Canada moving to Northern Alberta for the conservatism. I know a lot of people also took off this time to the East Coast. The East Coast typically tends to be very liberal. but there's an abundance of cheap land in very remote areas. And I think that was the appeal there. How's your tool brand coming along? I still try to buy DeWalt. I just have to pay through the nose for them here. They are.
You probably don't know what that means.
Well, it means it's very expensive. Cost you an arm and a leg, as we say. But I do prefer DeWalt. They're good quality tools, last a long time, and it's worth it, I guess. If I have to buy them in Canada, I can buy them a lot cheaper, but then I have to import them here, and then the costs will be crazy. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, a sinner. Amen. That is a good prayer that I say often. If you had an opportunity to start over, what planet would you move to? I don't know.
Heaven.
I think Earth is pretty good. Well, heaven, yeah. But
Wherever that is.
I don't know where to fire the rocket to get to that one. That's funny. Hello from Sochi. Nice to see you. Canadians are always so polite. They won't admit anything bad happening in Canada, even before their eyes, in total denial. Well, we used to be known as the politest people on the planet. Can your kids ski? It seems the ski would be a good idea for your family. You have a large field for that. We're not much for sports at all. I haven't gone skiing since school, so...
I have always had a mission that I wanted to do cross-country.
24 years, I think. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's like something that I want to get on my bucket list, is cross-country skiing. Not downhill skiing.
Maybe this year the boys will make you some skis and away you go.
Wow.
Take an old pair of shoes and screw them to there.
No, that's something I've always just wanted to do for some
reason. I can pull you behind the tractor. You can hold on.
Cross-country.
Awesome.
But then I get down the hill and then somebody would have to help me back up.
Tractor. Just hold on to the rope. We'll pull you up.
I probably wouldn't even make it like 10 feet and I'd be falling over.
Good fellow. Oh no, poor Ron. Maybe there's an entrepreneurial opportunity there. I'm not sure what that means. Remember, chickens, chickens, chickens.
They said about chickens, really.
I like chickens.
We do too.
Are you an entrepreneur or do you work somewhere? I am an entrepreneur. We have been self-employed now for many years. How many years have we been self-employed?
A long time.
Long time. And here we also, there's a lot to figure out yet as far as how to open businesses and all that other stuff. But we do have plans for a construction business now that is firmly in the plans. And we'll be kicking that off this spring. So insulation as well as framing. So if you need something done, email me. Maybe not this week because there's a lot of emails coming this week. What about chemicals in farming in Russia? I don't know all the ins and outs, but it's used a lot less. Do you plan to grow peanuts and make peanut butter? No. I love peanut butter, but no, I won't be growing it. What are your plans in the winter? Finish the inside of the house, probably build the rest of my workshop, and study Russian. Production of Western logistics was mostly created in England, manufacturers first, then spread across the world. What are you going to say?
We should probably call it a night.
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to get to the bottom of it, and then more show up. So, I paid $60.99 on a 2 kilogram jar of Kraft peanut butter yesterday. Cheapest eggs I could find today was $5 a dozen. Doesn't say if you're in Canada or in Pamela. I want to say she's in America, so that was even worse. You kids made friends with local kids. Have you noticed any undesirable influence on them so far at all? Nope, none. I do think kids here are better.
Just they're immature.
But yeah, they are immature, yes. But I mean, that can come with time.
I think maybe the attitude is different too. They are better. Like, you don't have to worry about a lot of different things. A lot of times they play and they. But I don't know.
We haven't noticed anything negative yet. Yeah. Well, yes and no. Some of the kids that our kids were playing with when we lived in the city, fighting that we don't allow.
Yeah.
Our children are not allowed to fight. They need to find a peaceful way of resolving their difficulties. So some of these kids are like fist fighting, which absolutely no need for. And then you get some of that, I don't know if it's bullying, but like, you're not my friend today kind of thing, but tomorrow you are nonsense. And we've never put up with that either.
No, everybody needs to get along.
You need to treat everybody the way you want to be treated all the time. So yeah, things like that. And that's hard. It was hard on the kids.
I think it was good though. I think they needed that. right? Like I think anybody or everybody should have to experience a little bit of hardship in order to be able to become better people on the other side.
Toughens
So
them
I
up.
think, I think it was very good for them to feel that. But it wasn't like anything we would ever experience in like Canada with those children.
No, and we're more
I
talking
wouldn't
about
even have let our children play with any Canadian children outside of their
Right.
own.
we're more talking about the sexualized nature that most kids are talking about nowadays that we don't agree with. So
Yeah, none of that ever.
this is another one. Do you have any concerns about very high rate of financing for business borrowings by Russian central bank? It's well over 20%. So somebody actually sent me an email, a long one, about how I should be talking about all this kind of stuff and blah blah blah. And there were some good points in there, and this was one of them. So my 2 cents, I think it's great. I think it should be high. One of the main problems and what happened to Canada and what happened to America is low interest rates. It caused people to go way too far in debt, way beyond what they should have, because the interest rates were low and, I can afford it. So they're living in a house that they actually can't afford, driving a car that they can't afford, going on vacations they can't afford, going to restaurants they can't afford. And they're up to here in debt, but they don't take it seriously because it's like 2-3% interest. Who cares? Here in Russia, yeah, the interest rates are high, but a lot less people in debt. People are living with the money that they have. And also, a lot of people at 20% interest, you can put money in the bank and actually make some money too. So I don't think it's all bad. I think low interest rates are a terrible idea. You should, as much as possible, be working with your own money and not going into debt. In Holland, people notice I say sorry way too much as a Canadian. Sorry. They say it there too, though. We say sorry, and in Dutch they say sorry.
And that's how they know that I'm a Canadian. Like in the store at all. Like I can get by with like not saying anything when you're walking down the aisle. And then like you almost bump into someone and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Oh, sorry about that."
Yeah.
And then it's like busted.
Nobody knows that.
Everybody knows that I'm a foreigner at that point, but I always have to say it.
Yeah, well, here you have to say "izvinite." And I was
That's
still.
excuse me, but not sorry.
If you bump into somebody, you wouldn't say that?
No, well, that would be like if you want to get past them.
Okay, I find that one just doesn't roll off the tongue very
Well,
well.
it's like, is Vinica or is Venetia?
I'm pretty sure it's "izvinite."
Depends on how.
We're going to find out here in a minute. Anneesa, please speak louder, or something like that, it said. Anneesa, so nice to see you live. Say hi to the kids for me. What was the first thought about moving to Russia? How did it appear in your mind?
Much nicer than I.
Well, probably the first thought that we had about moving to Russia.
Oh, I don't know that.
What do you do if your skin gets dry during winter?
Oil or apple cider vinegar.
20 quail eggs is $1.50. Lives in debt is wild. Oh, dude, everyone lives in debt. It's wild.
Yeah, but they shouldn't.
Crazy amounts of debt, yeah. What about the other Canadian family met at the airport?
We talked about them already.
Yeah. We will have a documentary about them coming out this week.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Maybe this week. So stay tuned. You got a big property. Why don't you get in bee business, start making honey?
I would like to get bees.
We will have bees here, yes. Nizhny Novgorod reminds me of the Peace region. Yes, it does. Weather and geography are very similar. I love watching your show. Nice to see people happy and thrive. Here we just survive taxation servitude. Isn't that true? Bees, inhumane. Try eating cactus honey. I've had cactus honey, actually. Abraham, 20 minutes ago, Arend said that he shows some cartoons to children, apparently not all in a row. Alexis, hi guys, love watching your channel, best wishes. Hi guys, when you were considering to move, did you consider more traditional Eastern Europe, including non-EU Serbia, for example, or was it straight to Russia? Straight to Russia. The problem with most of it, maybe Serbia is not EU, but most of these countries are part of the EU and are under heavy pressure to follow suit with all the wokeness and other stuff. So, sorry, reading another comment. So it wasn't on the list at all. I actually have a EU passport, as do the children. So we could have moved anywhere in the EU if we had wanted to. It was open to us. Nothing stops us from moving anywhere in the European Union. But we didn't want to. We chose Russia because Russia has got a different plan. Only country in the world that is consistently telling its population to produce more babies, right? That sees the alarming problem this world is going to face because there's no one having babies. The population is going to just plummet at least in the Western Christian world. All right, we need to go. We do. Arend said he would like to speak Russian in 3 years, but he is glad that they have 3 years to learn the language. Well, I hope to speak Russian before that, yeah. Being to Hungary recently, it looked as non-woke and based as it gets. Hungary is paying people to have babies too. Hungary would be on the list, but yeah, Russia was on my my top of our list. So, hey, God bless you guys. It's been another good night. It's been an hour and a half. That is a long night already. Thank you all for joining us. We sincerely appreciate it, and we have some more great videos coming out this week as time permits it. We have a busy week, actually. Some more meetings and stuff going on this week. So, God bless you all. Catch you all later.